what
Mm.
would you say is the greatest case for orthodoxy?
See, this is a very good question. And the reason why people think in this way is because they want a kill shot argument. Okay. Unfortunately, or fortunately, that's just not a thing that exists. Otherwise, apologetics as a whole and being a saint would be a monolithic model, which it's not. We have so many different kinds of saints, and in extension to that, we have so many different kinds of arguments that help orthodoxy or may weaken the case of other religions. But for me, um, the strongest argument I would say that basically acts as a testament to the church's witness is the patients that it administers to. And so I think that when St. Athanasius looked at his congregation, imagine he's writing on the incarnation and he's thinking of his parishioners in mind. He looks out, imagine this, right? He looks out to the city of Alexandria. He's just finished writing. He puts his quill down and he's looking out. And what he sees is people walking around, having fun, people having conversations. People are buying, selling things. Some people might go into a little chapel here or might fix up a shrine there, but they're acting as people. And the one thing he's thinking about is they're all Christian. And for him, the ultimate proof was the people he saw out there. They are the proof. They are the proof of our Christianity because of how God has been able to change and modify and adapt an entire society of people who thought that the only way was paganism and call them to something higher, which was a life that you could live with the one above all, with a human that yet, although he's human, stands at the pinnacle of all other races. And so, because of this, Athanasius believed that the ultimate proof, and as Father John Bear comments as well, is the Christian. The ultimate proof of Christianity is the Christian. And this is multifold as well as an Orthodox Christian, because oftentimes you will see bad people on the internet. You know, really bad people, mean people, or people that they don't act Orthodox. Let's just say. Let's say that in many cases they don't act Orthodox. You could probably find clips of me where I don't act Orthodox, right? But that again is a testament of your orthodoxy. You know what I mean? Because the church is a hospital, and I've never walked into a hospital where all the patients are healthy. I've never walked into a hospital expecting health. So if we're talking about the spiritual hospital that is supposed to cure all spiritual ailments or assist in that curing through the divine physician himself, then the only people that you should see there are those that are spiritually sick. So when you go into a parish, all you see are sick people. That's good. That's great. That's what it's supposed to be. And that again carries on into the internet, even where you do see spiritually sick people. The only problem is that those sicknesses or those symptoms sometimes last forever because they're immortalized on the internet. And maybe that person might repent, but that specific sin that they've committed stays there. But that for Athanasius is the ultimate proof. It's the Christian. Now, ultimately, I understand this as well, Aaron. Some people like to ask for something more, which is like an argument, like an argument that sort of shows and proves orthodoxy.
You know what's crazy?
Um, the-
Even though that
Go on.
was what I wanted out of you, I think you gave a
Mm.
better answer. I wasn't really expecting that, but it really is, in some way, shape, or form, for me, a better answer because the greatest proof for Christianity is the Christian. I don't know if you know, there's this comedian. He was like,
Mm.
the greatest proof for J.K. Rowling is Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter borrows his reality from J.K. Rowling. You're not going to find J.K.
Yeah.
Rowling in Harry Potter. But
Mhm.
the greatest proof of the author is the book. And I think that the greatest proof
Mhm.
of Christianity is the fruits of Christianity, which is the people. So props to you.
Yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. A lot of us, when it comes to our journey to the faith, we like to oftentimes view ourselves as correct. Let's just be honest. We want to search for truth. And searching for truth is a wonderful thing. It's a glorious thing. And because of our innate search for truth, we act as though fundamentally that the reason why we are orthodox is because we thought orthodoxy is true. Now, the phrase orthodoxy is true is true. Don't get me wrong. It is true. But our approach to that starts with our sense of what is right and what is wrong. and our sense of correctness. How many times before have you heard a person say, well, I looked at the arguments for the papacy, insert American accent here, and this argument for the papacy was weak. And because this argument for the papacy was weak, I looked at the history of the early church, and the only conclusion left was orthodoxy, man. Like, boom.
Heard that a lot from
Okay.
myself too.
Yeah, a lot. And that's okay. That's okay. But that's not your faith. That's a bolster. That's cool. That's interesting. But the church never stood or fell on its debunking of the papacy. It never did. There will be another heresy 200 years from now that will be even more pernicious. There might be heresies right now that are even more pernicious than other heresies that we consider, or other errors that we consider in other cross-confessional denominations. But those aren't the reasons as to why orthodoxy is true. And so what people do is they convert to orthodoxy because they heard an argument, or they saw an argument, or they researched a topic. But what happens when they believe that they're wrong about that? Well, their principle for being orthodox is because of what they believe to be true. And because they no longer believe this argument to be true, there's no reason for them to stay. They didn't come for a person, they came for a win. And so when the winning stops, you leave. It's like gambling. When the fun stops, you stop. So they go. And so ultimately, for those people, every book is a gamble. Like, genuinely, every book is a gamble. They could be orthodox, and then they could read this book and then think, oh, actually, those arguments aren't strong anymore, so I'm going to leave. And the ironic thing is, their mindset never changed. That's exactly who they are. And they are doing, in their mind, what is the most proper thing to do. This system no longer appeals to me. I move to this system now. And they might come back, but they're not coming back for the right reasons, which is, I want to look after a person. I'm seeking a person. And so Saint Sophrony as well, in his life, Father Saint Sophrony looked at Buddhism as a big one. And he wanted to really understand this absolute God that he wanted to connect himself to. But it wasn't until he understood that God was a person that he was able to leave. Because for him, it was no longer seeking points of truth, seeking points of reasonability, let's say, or rather convincibility. For him, it was becoming someone's friend, right? So, for example, you have a best friend, probably. Hopefully it's Christ, but you can have a best human friend as well. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, right? You have a best human friend. Okay. When was the last time that you thought to yourself, what is the list that I can give for all the reasons why this guy's my friend?
I don't think I've ever thought about that.
Never. That would be the weirdest thing to do, right? Why would I compartmentalize my friend like that? No,
Yeah.
that's weird. I just like the guy, okay? I don't know. Like, it's cool that he does these things, but like those aren't the exact reasons why.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say, for example, is your best friend Orthodox, let's say, like one of your best friends. I don't know if he is or if he's not, it's fine. Okay.
Unfortunately,
But
I'm an ecumenist because my best friend is Roman Catholic.
Okay, let's say your friend is Roman Catholic, okay? If he became Protestant, would he stop being your best friend?
No.
No. Okay. If he shaved his hair, would he stop being your best friend?
No.
No, none of those things are actually consequential to your friend being your best friend. All the cool things you like about your friend are just cool things you like about your friend, but they're not the ultimate reason why. The reason why he's your friend is because for some reason you are invested in him and you are invested in his progress. And that's the same thing for Christ. Christ doesn't look at any of the things that we do and says, oh, yeah, you did this thing. That's cool. Oh, yeah, you did small compline today. Oh, yeah, you did 1,000 prostrations and you have a 300 knot prayer rope as a starter pack for a catechumen. No one cares. That's not the reason why he's there. Right? He doesn't care.
Bro is just reading my autobiography at this point, G.
No.
The 300 friggin' I have it. No, I'm playing. I got 100 and a 50.
I have my 100 not one here. But like the point is, just because I have an icon wall that no one can see, or I do prayers and prostrations, that's not the reason why he likes me. This is what agape is. There's no condition for it. And so it's the similar way that we need to approach God. There's no kill shot condition that we should create that stands or falls for us. Otherwise, the rock of our faith is no longer the one that's immovable. It's something that can change. Christ is immovable because there's no condition for him to be okay. He's okay regardless of whatever conditions or any metrics anyone puts on him. But for us, we like to look for arguments. We like to look for reasons. Now, don't get me wrong. There are thousands upon thousands of books, mostly in Greek and Russian, that people can access, and Arabic that people can access, and those can satisfy the reasons for the intellect, of course. But those aren't the reasons why you're Orthodox. The reason why you're Orthodox, and the reason why I'm Orthodox, and unfortunately I can't provide such an argument, and I will provide some, but the reason why I can't provide an argument in this sense is because those aren't the reasons why I became Orthodox. My life just became more Orthodox, and I had to decide to myself whether or not I'm going to adapt to fit this life that God is trying to give me, or whether I can adapt the situation to fit me and do what I want and be like a Miles Morales. And I said, well, I'm not Spanish enough to be Miles Morales. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to become Orthodox. And I ended up falling in love with Christ because he's my friend. And that's what I want. So whether or not I see turmoil in the church, or a random person on Twitter, quote, debunks an argument that many Orthodox Christians use, that's not going to make me not Orthodox anymore. That's not going to make me leave, because those aren't the reasons I came in.